I finished Y, The Last Man.
Yeah! Did you cry?
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure did.
Blockhead Printing. For all your custom nerdy shirt printing. Cons, parties, our gaming clubs, this is a full-service, badass screen printing company. Check out blockheadprinting.com.
All right, this week we'll be discussing Batman Ninja anime. Daisy Ridley, no longer after episode 9.
No longer Ray.
No longer Ray.
No longer Ray.
She's just dead.
Dead Ray.
She's no longer exists after episode 9.
Ray's dead.
Antman and Wasp introduction to the Multiverse. EA cancellation of Visceral Games because it's too linear. And the Infinity War trailer.
Boom!
Dig-a-douche.
Dig-a-douche.
We also go full spoilers at the end of the show with Y, The Last Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it. What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
How y'all doing?
Woo!
Jesus. Wow.
Christ,
That's pretty strong. Welcome to Comically Gaming, episode 81, everybody. We're your hosts. Let's kick this off with what we were up to this week. I'll get the party started. Well, Dirk calms down over there.
Do it.
All right, so anyways, I had a lot of time off of work, so had a lot going on this week. The one thing I'll start with is that reading a lot of this.
Yes.
So if you're doing the audio version, that's the Lost Mine of Fandelver, which is a D&D adventure that I'm going to try and DM here. And,
Welcome.
Yeah, it's so cool reading that. So, anybody who watches the Labyrinth Lifers at all, I never played D&D in my life until we started the Labyrinth Lifers. We're only on our second campaign ever, sort of thing. And it's cool to read one of these books of these adventures in the background, and it really makes me want to go back and read Curse of Strahd and just see all the different things that we didn't do. Like it's really cool how the book is built up and how many like side quests and things that there are available and whatnot. And so cool that whatever the party steps into is just going to be what it is, and you steer them towards the main adventure. But there's so much other. I'm really shocked at how much room there is for, or how many options there are. Like if you were to look at like a dialogue tree or something in a video game, like it's very deep. And you could do the same adventure maybe 10 times and go through completely different things. Yeah. So, and this is only a teeny little starter's kit adventure. You know what I mean? So I'm really, it's cool. It makes me want to get all the books just to read, even if I don't do them,
Yeah.
So good times. Comics, read Saga 16, 17, 18. That's like through the third thick book. So awesome. God, it's so awesome. Can't express how cool it is. We got to get into a spoiler conversation.
Yeah, I wish you could.
I almost feel like we need to end the show with spoilers either on The Last of Us or Saga, just up to a certain point. Anyways, we'll, since we're pushing out our next one. Anyways, the video games, I rented Star Wars Battlefront 2 and beat the campaign in one sitting. So first of all, first time in my life I ever used the red box. Ever. I've always known it was
It's
there.
not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. Like, especially for doing this show and being able to talk about things that are current. Like, I know I can't spend $200 when that one day that all 3 awesome games come out, but I can spend $9 and check them all out for a day. So I'm really surprised I haven't done that before. Really like it. Battlefront 2, I gotta say, a campaign and just a minute of multiplayer, I'm really down on it in a big way. Like I feel like the campaign, I don't mind the fact that it's very short. In fact, I like that. Like I wish there were more games that I could beat in 5 hours, like, to be honest, for somebody with my amount of free time. Parts of the story were really cool. Like there were some things that I'm not going to spoil anything, but just how this story interweaved into the Star Wars movies was
Yeah.
really cool at points. It also had just, it seems like the whole second act of the game, the middle part of it, was pointless. You could have thrown all
Yeah.
those missions in the garbage and it wouldn't have
Yeah.
affected anything. Just seemed like filler or whatever. And what I had heard people say, and I do agree with, is it feels like you're on multiplayer maps that the EA gave to these writers and said, here, put a story into these maps.
Yeah.
And then they went in and did it. And like I say,
Wow.
sometimes to more success than others. But so I had fun. Like, I liked my $3. I wanted some Star Wars action. We're less than 2 weeks away from The Last Jedi. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying, like, don't play it. Like, I had fun playing it. But the thing is that the fact that EA canceled the Amy Hennig game, and this is what they're giving us. EA's
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 years into their Star Wars contract. When Disney bought Star Wars, they gave EA the contract, a 10-year deal to make games. This is when the Star Wars games that they've been working on for 4 years should be coming out.
Yeah.
And, you know, we should get a Mass Effect Star Wars game, like something
Shit.
that
We're
something
talking-
as cool as KOTOR.
That'd be
Save it.
great.
Whatever, you know, and so anyways, really just pissed that EA has this contract and they're wasting it. They're going to have it for like 6 more years, and we're going to get a bunch of crappy games from them. And then the fiasco with the online stuff, it drives me nuts. So the
Save
guy
it for later. It's number 2.
is the online stuff again.
Well, we can talk shit
Oh,
about
Star
EA.
Wars game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just say briefly what I was my point going to be. So I talked so long, and I got to at least wrap it up. If there was an online mode where levels didn't matter, the whole thing would be fixed. If you had a choice where you could play when your gear matters and play when your gear doesn't matter, like Destiny does with the Iron Banner versus the regular Crucible, then I could jump in and play when it doesn't matter, when everybody's even, and have a good time. The fact that these guys who have played it clearly for 100 hours by the time I stuck the disc in the first time can dominate me the second I step into the online multiplayer is stupid. Really down on it in general and depressed that EA's got this Star Wars contract. Anyway.
Yeah, even without the microtransactions, it's just stupid that you're not leveled with other people.
Correct.
Either way.
Correct. I agree.
Who thinks that's fun? I mean, I don't know who gets into that.
Nobody. That's the problem.
I still think that they should have followed the Overwatch model where all of the loot boxes are purely cosmetic.
So, did you hear the bullshit answer to that? I'm
No.
sorry, we're gonna keep going. So the head CEO of EA came out and said that they couldn't do cosmetic items in this game because of canon issues. You couldn't make like a white Darth Vader, is what he said. And I'm like, yeah, you gotta be
Well, but
kidding
that's
me.
not the fucking point, really. That's his basis of argument.
Yes. So
What a fucking toolbox.
they're just
No.
just grasping at straws for things that aren't to say that we want to make the most money possible out of this.
Yeah.
And-
EA stick with sports because that's in the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. So, anyways, we all clearly know that you could still do cosmetic things with like stormtroopers. How many? You got snow troopers, speeder bike troopers, TIE fighter troopers, a million
Shadow
different
troopers.
things. Yeah, and same thing with the rebels. It's crazy.
Imperial Guard.
Yeah. Okay, so I've already gone like 10 minutes. Play Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Walking Dead. Watch The Walking Dead. First boring one of the year. Fear the Walking Dead. I'm really catching up on it. Watched a couple more episodes of The Defenders. Really dislike it, but it's gonna be. I'm 2 away from the end, so I'm gonna see it through to see where the story goes at this point.
I really dislike it.
Yeah. And then played New Super Mario Brothers Wii U. A 6-year-old game while Corey's sitting here playing Super Mario Odyssey. Me and one of my boys are playing New Super Mario Brothers Wii U. It's fucking great. I gotta say,
Yeah.
it's super super good. And then finally watched a movie called Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah, how is
Anybody-
that?
You heard of it?
I've heard of it. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
heard of
I know it. I haven't
movie-
watched it.
Is way better than it has any right to be for the amount of budget that they got. Like I put it on a par with the original Evil Dead, because
It's always at the top. I mean,
with budget
yeah.
versus quality stuff. So it is horror comedy, which I didn't think I was in the mood for until I started watching it, and it's really great. Some really good acting performances.
So it's more like Army of Darkness.
No, it's more like Evil Dead 2. And, it's a cabin in the woods story.
Yes.
But they put a unique twist
What's it
on
called?
it. That's really good.
Tucker
and Dale versus Evil. Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Really good.
If you do like a Google search of best horror films on Netflix, it comes up like in the top 10 every time.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's really, really good. I'd love to talk to you guys about it after watching it, because especially, I don't know, I don't want to say anything because it'll spoil it about some of the coolest shit in there, but it's definitely worth checking out. That's it. I'm sorry I went so long. What have we done to Corey?
Marathon!
Corey, you're next.
All right. My week. I finished Y, The Last Man.
Yeah! Did you cry?
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure did.
It's so awesome.
Yeah. I wish we could go spoilers, but yeah, I cried. Yes, that was really, really great.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. It makes me like fear for Saga, like how it's gonna end, but but I mean, I guess it wasn't a bad ending. I don't know. It was,
it's a good ending.
It's a good ending. It just hurts.
Good
endings hurt sometimes.
It's good, but yeah, really great though. Well, it's on my list. Check out next episode.
Right.
But you'll see where it ranks. But yeah, finally finished that up. I've been working on that for a few weeks, and really good. I've loved everything Brian K. Vaughan's done, and yeah,
Here.
Steady.
Awesome stuff. I played Gran Turismo, and we played Steep for like a half hour, and then I started playing it the next day, and then I played the shit out of it for the next few nights.
I might get that.
Got to level.
You should get it.
Level 25. Which is, you get a gold trophy, and it's like
He's not joking.
There's the guy
playing the shit out of it.
Yeah, there's this guy who talks to you, after every level you get, and he's like, there's a helicopter up there. Like, he stops talking to you at level 25. You still keep going up in levels, but you get a gold trophy there, and so I don't know how you would actually get the credits to roll in the game. Like, I don't even know if they do, but I'm gonna call that beating it.
Sure.
So,
I would.
But yeah, I really like it. I really like snowboarding and skateboarding games, and there hasn't been a good skateboarding game since Skate on the 360. And so this is it's a good snowboarding game.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Awesome.
And the multiplayer is sweet that we can all go down the mountain together and everything.
Yep.
So
until Nate tries to direct us somewhere.
Yeah, until Nate takes us off the mountain. For 20 minutes. Well, it's gonna go down eventually.
Sometimes
it's only 3 a.m. We're good.
They don't go straight down the whole time. It's not just one big peak.
We play tonight. I'm gonna take you to. I got everything unlocked. We'll take some peeks then. Sure.
Not skate across a frozen lake for a half hour.
Yeah. Skate across the lake. So then I played some Mass Effect for a couple more hours, and I wasn't really that into it. But then I bought Xenoblade and Mario. Is it Plus Rabbids?
Plus Rabbids.
Plus Rabbids.
Yeah.
Just stupid when I'm trying to. I want to say versus or but Mario Plus Rabbids. I haven't played that yet, but it was on sale for Cyber Monday on the Nintendo eShop store for $40, and everybody says it's good, so I grabbed it. But I've been playing the shit out of Xenoblade. I really, really like it. It's awesome.
You love it.
Yeah, I love it. It's cool.
It's funny. When I woke you up this morning and said that we had to do extra recording tonight, and you were just like, man, but I need to play Xenoblade.
Yeah.
That was the main
You really
thing
worried?
that was cutting out of time in your life.
It was. I wanted to put in like 8 to 10 hours today. Get a good chunk. It's a big game, you know, like
Sure.
2 hours in a 50-hour game is nothing. It's like running around and doing a few side quests, like barely even progressing the story. I wanted to get a good chunk done today, but I got quite a bit in. So I got my fix. But it's really cool. The story's good. All the characters are really good. The environments are awesome. You know, the graphics are. You know, Switch games are weird. They're all. I have a bunch of games on the Switch now. I got Mario Kart, Mario Odyssey, Zelda, Xenoblade,
Golf Story.
But I don't have a game that has like realistic graphics like Tomb Raider or Uncharted or anything. So it's Switch doesn't have as good a power as the PS4 or 360. But
Right.
for what it is with the graphic style it has, it's just really cool environments. The Titans that you're on, or there's no like land. All the land is like these giant beings called Titans that float in the cloud sea. So like you're never actually on like a landmass. You're on like a living being, which is a Titan. There's like small ones and there's giant ones that like people have towns and cities on and stuff. So and they're all different, and it's really cool. And then you also have like the kind of collecting different blades thing going on. You get these crystals, and it's you get crystals all the time, and like 1 out of 10 probably you get like a rare one. So and the other ones are all just like generic. So it's fun trying to. You get the collection thing on top of that, almost, kind of like collecting monsters or something. That side of it's cool too. So really like all of it so far. And then I haven't watched Walking Dead yet. Watched more Mr. Robot. That's
Season 2?
Yeah.
How's season 2 so far?
It's awesome. It's really good. It's crazier than. I don't know. It's hard to talk about what's going on in that show because so without going spoilery. It's especially if you haven't seen season 1 or even know what's going on. It's
right.
Some crazy shit happens. But yeah, I think that's it for my week.
All right.
Dirk.
Let's see. I played a shitload of Witcher this past week.
Yeah.
Like burned through. Where I just it's so hard to focus on the main mission.
You gotta do
it's so hard because
Yeah.
this is what's sort of fascinating about this game, and this isn't even to deal with spoilers, but they put so much content in the side missions, just in the dialogue. When you're talking to people, the only thing that you see that's repetitious is like movements, right? Like you see him cross his arms a lot or whatever, but the stuff that they say, like the dialogue, is crazy. There's so much of it.
To me, like, that's absolutely one of the best parts of the game is that you can. The side missions are as cool. It's not just fetch quests like every other game, or go from point A to point B. They all have these super intricate, deep stories that just really flesh out the world. You know what I mean? Unlike any other games I've ever played.
Right, and I'm totally on board with Triss now because. Yennefer, I've seen her for what she is. Now, don't listen. She's the more attractive of the two, I think.
I don't think so.
I think
she is.
But
she is.
That being said,
Triss way out.
That being said, I would marry Triss. Yennefer's a weekend thing. So
weekend. One night stand.
Right. So I did a lot of that.
Crackers.
I killed it on everybody's golf. I thought I was. I was scared that I was. Scared that I was done.
Yeah, I thought he had it in the bag.
Yeah, I was scared I was done, and it helps. This isn't anything to do. I'm not knocking my wife when I say this, but if it's just me, playing that game, like all the concentration in the world, I can do it. I can bring it in, rein it in, and focus.
Focus is really important in golf games.
It is. It's crazy.
Like even when I say like I got delivery halfway through my round and it fucked my game over, that shit happens. Like it throws. You gotta be focused on your round, or anything can throw you off.
Yeah, and I did it pretty early in the morning. I think I did it around 9 on a Saturday morning. So I was like, I just drank a bunch of coffee and knocked that shit out. Let's see. Oh, I read Batman, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And Nate, I just want to thank you. I knew that was gonna be. I knew it was gonna be good, but I had read his first few issues of Batman in that series, and I didn't like them at all.
Sure.
And this was like completely in the opposite direction.
Yep.
I gotta say, BKV is still #1 for me, but Tom King is knocking on the door. I mean, he's making a name for himself. He's not gonna get to that level, I'm sure, but I mean, you start putting his body of work together. You put Vision. You put Sheriff of Babylon.
Oh, did he do the Vision from a couple years ago that everybody was fired up about?
Yeah.
The family story?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to read that, yeah.
And he did Sheriff of Babylon, which those are just incredible works. So yeah, I think. Yeah,
I gotta say. Well, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it later.
I also attempted to play Rory with you guys last night, and the New Orleans internet vampire attacked again.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah.
It's good.
I know. Right?
Yeah, don't jinx us. Not tonight.
Yeah.
Not tonight, Dirk.
You'll start seeing the lights dimming in the back.
Strahd shows up behind you.
I did enjoy it. The section that I played thus far. But I definitely want to play it some more. I don't think I'm gonna get as good on that.
You won't get as good as Adam and Corey. That's why I'm saying like.
No, definitely not even that. I mean, that's not even.
Good, why not?
You will.
That's not even in my wheelhouse as a thought. I mean, I'm trying to be like competent,
right?
And that's it. Right. I think that is it.
I feel like I lost a little bit on it.
Yeah.
I need to practice some more on Rory.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Okay, so I played some Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo. I actually spent a lot of time. I was off this week, so you can upload your own made decals to the game, but it is a huge learning curve. And it doesn't like anything over 15 kilobyte files. And you can't sit there and do a small graphic and use text in it. It doesn't show up. It has to be shapes. So I made a really shitty one, and then I just started doing the lettering and tricked out my car. I was playing a lot of The Last of Us because I really got into the story, and I'm digging it so far. I really am digging it now that I met up with a couple other folks, and it kind of reminds me of this game. Reminds me of Walking Dead, the way it plays out in certain aspects.
Sure.
It kind of reminds me of Walking Dead with the clickers.
Fuck clickers.
Those clickers are shit.
So
assholes.
You're like we keep on referencing Pittsburgh. You're past Pittsburgh, correct? I left Pittsburgh.
I'm going to a radio tower right now.
Are you hooked? Like, do you like? I felt like when I was at that spot, I knew I was in the middle of one of the greatest video games of all time.
Yeah, like, I want to play it. It's killing me that I can't play it.
Right.
And this week, even since I was off, ended up having a lot of stuff. So I played when I could.
Sure.
And I played some Everybody's Golf. And as soon as I'm done with Last of Us, I'm going to go back and finish Witcher.
Right. It's funny, like that's my number 1 and number 2 game of all
Yeah.
time. So it's awesome
Same.
that you guys are playing that and just bringing back all these fond memories for me.
Well, I started playing
Yeah.
Witcher like a year ago. I started playing it a long time ago, and then I just got sidetracked from it. And
It's so
I can't-
long. That's why.
And I
you
can't play it with my son. There's no way I can play that game.
know? No.
There's no way.
I
No,
love it.
no.
You could kind of like do
Oh.
like monster hunting missions and stuff. Like that's
Yeah.
what I've done around the kids. Like there,
You know
can do
where-
some
when it's
missions
going.
where where
You know when it's going south.
right.
Yeah.
Depends, unless
didn't
it's like
get to
an
read
aborted
it.
fetus monster or something.
I didn't get to read any comic books this week because I was playing, but I was working. The
Homework.
finals is coming up, so that was
Yeah,
my main
that's-
priority.
Right.
So that's it. I mean, that's
life.
really it. Yeah, stupid.
All right.
That's all
That's our
right.
week.
News of the week.
The week.
All right, time for the news of the week. Number 5. Batman Ninja anime takes New York Comic Con by storm.
Yeah,
Did y'all watch it?
Yeah.
Roy,
I
did you watch
watched
it? You haven't
pieces.
watched it? Oh my god.
Should we
I
just
just
pause
saw
the
the
recording so
topic.
you can watch it?
It's like 2 seconds. Go watch it.
Yeah. Hold on. We're pausing. All right. Hot
Wow.
take.
That looks fucking badass. I would have
told
voted
you.
for that if I'd have seen that before.
You have to
Holy
watch
shit.
it. I knew that you had
That
to
looks
watch
like the
it.
coolest shit I've seen
Right?
Jeff,
in
did
a
you
long
see it?
time.
I did. Yeah,
Yeah,
it looks badass. I saw it on the news.
You know,
actually.
DC's films, you can say whatever you want about them, but their animated products, you know,
Yeah.
for the, like, they.
When does that come out?
It's funny. I was gonna say like the opposite of that is that I've watched a few of their animated shows like The Killing Joke and they did Batman Year One, and these they're all just like, to me, like the budget's low and they're aimed at like teenagers. They're
I think I was
cringy
thinking more
in the
about
stories.
the Batman the animated series is what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
oh yeah,
of.
that's a classic of all time for sure.
Yeah.
But the recent, if you try and watch, like, one will show up on HBO or something every single month for me, and
Yeah.
there are a bunch of these new animated shows that are real low quality and really bad dialogue and story. And they're doing it with some of my favorite comic books of all time and just making them so that I turn it on for 5 minutes and I turn it off. Watching that,
I haven't watched Killing Joke, but yeah.
I was fucking stoked.
Right?
Yeah.
That Batman Ninja, that looks cool.
That
It's
looks
like-
really cool.
Old school anime, like Ninja Scroll, you know, sort of dynamics in it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Is there a
so
release
freaking
date?
good. I don't know. Did it have one?
I know, Dirk, you'll have to put it in the comments.
Yeah. I think they showed it
What
at
channels are
NYCC.
gonna be on?
I
They
don't
showed it at NYCC, and everybody had Corey's reaction. They all flipped out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be like one of those on-demand everywhere type things.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't think it's tied down to like a TV channel or anything
Man,
like that.
I hope it's wildly successful.
Yeah.
And
Is it,
DC's
is it a, it's
like,
a movie?
It's anime right now.
yeah, I think
Is
it's
it
a
series?
I think it's a movie.
Yeah.
I think it's a movie too. A one like an hour long or hour and a half long or something.
You
Yep.
got the touch.
Bum, bum,
Nice.
bum.
All right.
You got the power.
Number 4. Daisy Ridley said she doesn't want to be Ray after episode 9.
I don't see. Well, I mean, I'm not surprised that. I don't think
What did
they
she
would-
say? Said all she
She had an interview where she
Yeah.
just basically said that episode 9 is going to be the end of her playing in Star Wars movies, and then
Yeah.
like 2 sentences later in the interview is, well, maybe a long time from now. Like
Yeah.
she kind of left it open that if she was going to do a Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher thing,
Right.
If they
like
asked her
Carrie
to.
Fisher, right?
But
Yeah.
basically it's like she's just not going to make a million spin-offs of
yeah,
this
who would
Yeah.
want to do that?
and whatnot.
She's smart.
Right.
She's smart not to typecast her as Ray. I mean,
Which is
she's already.
Absolutely.
It's too
See,
late for her and
no.
John Bodega.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never think of anything else when I see him in
I don't
another
know, dude.
movie.
Boyega's already done
Right.
some stuff.
He did
you
The
know.
Circle with Emma Watson.
Yeah, in Detroit. But
Yeah.
Detroit.
but I have to say, like, every minute that I'm looking at him, I'm thinking, Finn.
It's Finn. Yep. Finn 2187.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I guess that is what it is.
Give him some time. He'll come back.
Ant-Man, Wasp.
Number 3, Antman and Wasp. What's her name? I think it was
Evangeline Lilly.
yeah. In the interview, said
Really?
that they'll be introducing Antman and Wasp to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, to the Marvel Multiverse.
I like
Yeah.
it. I like Evangeline Lilly.
That's the big news, is the multiverse thing there.
So,
Yeah,
Corey, do you remember me breaking down the original Ant-Man?
yeah. When they went into the
Yeah, I feel like, should we talk spoilers for the original Ant-Man? Or should
Do it.
let me stay away from it.
It's
Other
3
than-
years old.
It doesn't. I still wouldn't want somebody who hadn't
No,
seen
I
it
know.
yet to want to turn the show off. But I thought they did it in that movie.
yeah, right.
If you've seen it, you probably know what I'm talking about. Like, it was very open to interpretation what was going on along that same thing. Like, I feel like that was
Yeah.
the first step, and they're just going to elaborate
Yeah,
on it.
yeah. Totally. That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
Not surprising, but sweet.
Yeah,
So.
they have to. I thought Doctor Strange was going to do it also, but to get away from just having to focus on these certain set of actors like they did in these first 3 phases, you know what I mean? This opens them up
Right.
to doing anything they want, any
Yeah.
story that they
And
want.
they will.
Yeah,
They
right.
will.
Right.
Cash that cow.
Yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, number 2. EA in the good
Bring
old
it,
EA
Nate.
again.
Bring down the
Um,
hammer.
Visceral Games. Who was it? The EA CEO or
Yeah.
somebody from EA did an interview. Said that the reason they canceled the Visceral Games game was because it was too linear of a story, and that's not. Consumers don't want linear games nowadays anymore. We just want to have
They have a
pigeonholed.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots. I mean, I
fucking
want more linear games. I'm
mushrooms.
sick of these big ass open world games with so much shit to do you can't even beat it. Like, I love a good linear story in Star Wars. You can make the best stories out of that. Such bullshit. Like, if they want to piss people off, they're fucking doing it right. Like, it's so stupid.
Because if they're only weighing they're only making their conjectures based. Basically, I think the biggest open world game outside of a PC game, I'm thinking of like GTA, because of just the popularity of Grand Theft Auto.
But this is the thing with that. They're not matching. They just want it to be open world so they can make money, right?
Yeah.
They're not thinking about the content of the world that they're
Correct.
building. And the thing is, Star Wars has a massive jar of content to pull from, but they're not going to do it justice. They're just going to take like surface characters and fucking. They're not going to go into the lore of it.
They try and remake
loot
those
boxes
movies.
with linear story.
Right.
Just hook up a credit card swiper square to your PlayStation controller and swipe to continue. Blue Mage is out of mana. Insert more coins and regain content.
We know, EA. We know.
It's the thing is, like, so you think of the greatest example of the type of game that we would want, or that Visceral Games is making, is like, think of Uncharted 4. Like, Uncharted 4 sold maybe 8-10 million copies, something like that, and doesn't make anything afterwards at $60 a copy. If you look at Overwatch, if you look at Madden, those games are making money in the billions. You know, Grand Theft Auto Online, they're making billions.
Yeah.
And so
Still.
Yeah, so these executives just keep coming out and lying to us. They're doing the best they can at PR, but you know, they can't come out and say, sorry, that doesn't make enough money for us. And that's what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's why all these quotes are so ridiculous every time we read them.
Right.
Because they're not the truth, right? It's insane.
For real.
Yeah.
And
I
it
mean,
sucks that
why
they have
can't
Star Wars.
but why can't they release this and Battlefront? Like
I know.
Why just cancel it all together? I mean, just because we can have a linear story and have other games that we can spend money on. You don't have to, it's not like they would lose money off of it.
The problem with the Battlefront 2 and Battlefront 1, they didn't even think of a new name to call the games. Because they released both those games back in 2004, I think, was when Battlefront 2 came out. And it was a shitty first-person shooter, but they're like, it's just a first-person shooter. There's no story content.
Battlefront 2 again.
Well, a lot of people liked the original Battlefront 2.
It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. And they just tried to recreate it and update the graphics. But it's just
shit.
They're stupid.
Yep.
EA sucks.
Yeah. So,
let's go to brighter news.
Yeah. Number 1. Infinity War trailer. Finally got it.
So, I'll say it like we say it every single time. We're going to talk spoilers on trailers if you care that much about it. Like, I tell myself every time I'm not going to watch trailers. There was a thing on YouTube that said, last Star Wars trailer, last Jedi's trailer. I'm like, no, I'm not going to watch that. And turns out it's just like a commercial with 2 seconds later. And then, within an hour, I had changed my mind and was watching it. Like, within an hour, I told myself I wasn't. So I'm just giving up, whatever. We're going to talk spoilers.
When it comes on TV, when the Last Jedi trailer comes on TV, I shut everything down and pump up the volume and just watch it every single time.
That's what I'll be in mid-sentence talking and I'll be like,
yeah, I'm like
locked.
But yeah, doesn't it look fucking awesome?
It does.
I mean,
yeah.
I had my hair was raising on my arm along with Spidey's at the same time. Yeah.
Even Debo Thanos. I'm down with Debo Thanos. So.
I do like all the memes are coming out with Thanos now. And,
Oh, they're fantastic.
It was awesome.
Guy Fieri one is great.
There's one where he's like doing the little thing of salt, just finish off with salt, and it's just gemstones. I like they put the Guardians of the Galaxy right at the end of that trailer.
Yes.
That was awesome.
That part was awesome.
Well, I think Guardians is like their big separate product, right?
Yeah.
So this is the way to bring them together. Yeah. So you got everybody on one side and then Guardians on the other. Finally,
Give that man a shield.
Thor's floating around in space right now. So clearly easy for them to hook up. My favorite parts of this were absolutely Spider Sense. Spider Sense was missing from Homecoming. Yeah, and so for them to showcase it in the trailer, that's like saying we're sorry or something, or he developed it. You know what I mean? Like he's changing.
That's true.
As time goes on or something. So it's cool. And then he's got the suit that he didn't take.
Tony Stark. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. That was the first thing I noticed when they cut to it. Yeah. I wonder if because I wonder if it still has Ultra Kill Mode 2 or whatever it was. Sure. It was in Spider-Man.
Right. That's true. They can maybe use it in this situation.
I think one of the things that got to me was it made me realize that this is all coming to an end. Like, I'm looking at these characters, and I don't know what's going to happen to them.
Right.
You know, I mean, they're about to push into that next phase, and this is, I mean, the way that Kevin Feige described it, this is the end of everything that's been built up to this point. Well, the second one, but this is beginning of the end, you know. So I'm just excited. I know there's going to be, we're gonna get some losses in there. And I'm sort of excited and also, sad about whatever, losing some people, but it's exciting at the same time, man. I'm ready for some Thanos action. I'm a big old Thanos fanboy, so.
Yeah, it's cool, all these movies, we're getting to the point now where we just expect them to be quality when we go see them, but it is just like, oh, yep, another part of the story.
Yeah.
Like it'll be, this is kind of a test, like, I just thought it would be like that forever. You know what I mean? For them to actually tie all that stuff together and put a bow on it. Is it going to be just a generic boss fight in the end, or is it going to be cooler than that? You know what I mean?
No, it's not going to be like Justice League.
Well, it could be. It could be.
I don't know. I think they purposely held off releasing this trailer 2 weeks after Justice League just to give DC a slap in the face for their movie universe, and be like, okay, you had your moment of glory with the Frankenstein movie, so here you go.
I didn't even think about that. Release it like the week after.
It was about a week after.
Amazing.
I wonder if we're gonna get an Adam Warlock. They teased Adam Warlock being in the next Guardians,
right?
But he's a big part of that storyline. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Good.
News of the week.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. This is that time of the show where we give back to the community that gave to us. I think we're up to 819 subscribers.
That's lots of
Okay. Yeah, really appreciate everybody. Got close to 20 subscribers this week, so we're on a roll, and we appreciate all the support. Those people who subscribe to us, who also have YouTube channels, who share their subscriptions, we go in, we kind of watch their stuff as we can, and then give them a shout out on this show. If you go to the description below the YouTube video, it'll have links to everybody's channels. Please go subscribe to these people's channels. They hooked us up, we hooked them up, the world turns round.
What'd you say my name for, Jeff?
That's how it rolls. So, this week, what you guys got?
Sweet. All right, Adam Leamy.
There we go. And I got you bastard, dude. McStroken Gaming.
Oh, and last we got Super Kirby 22.
So is this whole reaction about McStroken Gaming?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. So every week we do a name of the week, or we give it to McStroken this week.
I think we know.
McStroken.
All right, McStroken.
McStroken.
I hope that your intention is to get a chuckle out of people, and we're not being offensive to you. Every week we give out this award that's highly coveted, called Name of the Week.
Very prestigious.
Yeah, you got it. McStroken.
You got it.
Everybody else, go subscribe to them.
Stroke it.
So every week we put out a community question on our Facebook page, and if you aren't joined on our page, just look up Games, Comic, and Culture on Facebook, and as long as your profile looks like a normal profile, I'll add you. It's that easy. Just have profile pictures. So for the question of the week, we put out something pretty obvious. What did you think of the Infinity War trailer? And we got quite a bit of responses this time, which is awesome. I think doing it early is a lot easier. Kevin Wyken, he made 2 comments. He said, "Looks cool. Get this man a shield," was a direct quote from there. And then he goes on to say that he hopes it's not the same as Avengers 2. Hopes
too.
it's 3 hours long.
That's my fear.
And someone should die in to up the stakes.
Of course. It'll be the next one, though. It'll be 4.
Dirk and Nate talk back and forth.
Yeah, it'll be part 2.
Stephanie Hamburger, because I'm not going to say that middle name.
That's the Not So Nerdy Nerd.
Yep, Not So Nerdy Nerd. I was about to say that. She said she loved it and got my even more excited for the movie. I literally got goosebumps or Spidey sense. Phil Lombardo said meh.
I saw that.
Joe Stein says it all looks great with the right gravitas. But what happened to Thanos' costume design? I mean, at least give back his eyebrow ridge and not be lavender. Just hit. He said, just hit me how many Marvel villains involve purple.
Yep.
And then Francisco said all the feels.
Yep. Francisco had the feels for sure.
Yep.
So on Twitter, we had a few responses as well. Bad to the Bone from one of our guests earlier in the year, popped on and said it's one of the most exciting trailers I've seen in a while, and I can't wait to see everyone fighting together, especially the Guardians and Doctor Strange in the same place. Yeah, absolutely. And then ML Paka hopped on and said it was awesome. It got my blood pumped and running. And then did the tongue out smiley face. And Richard's Reality says, hell yeah. Yeah. So thanks for the input. Next week, we're going to be talking about Destiny 2 after the Rise of Osiris. And just kind of getting back. We fell off, and we just want to check in. So our question for next week will be, where are
Someone didn't even get on the horse.
So our question for next week will be, where are you with Destiny 2 now? Did you drop it? Are you still playing it? Are you excited for the expansion? What do you feel like?
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We're pushing out. We know we had talked about doing Batman number 32. Is that right? 32?
Yes. 25 to 32.
25 to 32.
Yeah, which the War of Jokes and Riddles is issues 25 through 32. We got a little bit too busy for everybody to be able to wrap it up this week, and it's a lot of reading. So we're going to push that out one more week. Throw it into next week's show as well. This week we're going to talk a little bit about Why the Last Man. Me, Corey, Dirk. Corey just recently finished it, and I did earlier this year. So we're gonna ditch Jeff and start talking about Why Last Man. It's gonna be a full spoilers conversation. So if you're headed out, thank you for watching. This has been listening. This is Comically Gaming, 81.
Number 81.
Fellas, thanks for joining me this week.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, and here we go. We're about to go full spoilers. Why the Last Man.
Hey everybody, spoilers this week. Corey just finished this book, so we're going to handle up on Why the Last Man. We talked a lot about this book and love it to death. And, I think we've been waiting to get into the guts of it. For people that haven't read it or checked it out, it's a Brian K. Vaughan book published by Vertigo beginning in 2002. Pretty much a post-apocalyptic science fiction comic book. So, let's just get into it.
All right. Corey.
Let's start off with Corey because he just finished it.
All right. So, what are we just going right to the end? Whatever
you want. Whatever you want.
Whatever you want, man. I mean, are we going to talk about Yorick and 355?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously the whole series, he's looking for Beth. Finally gets to her, and disappointed. Turns out she was going to break up with him, which he kind of knew that. But and then finally admits that he's into 355, and she gets a headshot. So that was kind of the first big ending part.
I feel like so
it's Alter, right? It doesn't.
Alter.
So first of all, like, I just want to, before we tackle that too hard, what you said, Corey, like, this is a story. It's a love story, right, about Yorick and 355, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's funny, like, it tricked me into when I break down the storyline, it's like a chick flick or something that I wouldn't want to normally sit through or put myself through. And this book was so awesome that it tricked me into liking that. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
I wouldn't normally pick something that's a story about a relationship. Like, to me,
well, right.
That's not, what I'm in it for. And like I say, this book tricked me into being down with it.
I think that the big overall arching theme that we, eventually find out in the end with the last few actions, sequences, and everything that happened with 355 is that it's about the love that you don't realize you have in your life, that's sitting right in front of you. Some people never realize that, and he realized it, and it was too late for him, I think that's like the That's why I'm so, like Corey said, he's scared to get to the end of Saga. I think that's why. I mean, it's moments like that because you're led all the way up, you know, and I didn't see that coming. I didn't see 355 going out, or you know, I didn't see it playing out in that exact, I guess, order of events, or even having her die. So, man, it was just, I remember, I felt like my stomach had been punched.
Yeah.
You know, you get so attached to those characters.
Yeah, and like I felt like it was done so well that, to be honest, like her dying, that's not why it had emotional weight. Like there was way more weight to him realizing that he was in love with her.
Oh, absolutely.
And even with Beth being able to see it and being like, look, you know, this is you know, this is obvious. And you know, it was funny, so that when she was killed or whatnot, like, yes, that kind of ends his story and the whole deal. But like I say, the fact that he realized he was in love with her was cooler than that part of the story. You know?
Yeah.
That's what was punching me in the gut. Like, I was already like, tearing up before he even got to the hotel or whatnot because of that stuff. You know what I mean? When she died, it was just like, oh, that sucks. But it wasn't that. You know what I mean? It wasn't.
Right? Yeah, I almost teared up more when like she gave him the scarf that she had like knitted the whole time, and then dipped out on him right when Beth showed up.
Yeah,
and when she died. But
it's so long building up to that too. That's what it is that you're so connected and involved in Wyatt's journey as a human and everything that he's going through, that when that stuff starts to happen, it's like, you know, if this had been done in book 3, it would not have, like Jeff said, the gravitas that it had at the end. And, you know, as excited as I am about the show, you know, I think it's going to be a coin toss on how well they relate that.
Sure. Yeah, it's going to be hard to do with the show. I feel like that's what I was thinking about right after I read it. Just
because people sniff out what is it, romantic what is it, sexual tension or whatever.
Sure.
People sniff it out from a mile away, and if the characters are doing that right off the bat, that's half of the story. I mean, that's like you're leaving the suspense out of that. And I don't know if that'll carry over. Maybe they'll take it in some other directions or do something. So I'll give it a chance for sure.
It has. But I feel like it has the potential to be awesome, though, if done right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like, it could be really good.
And he made a world out of it too. You know, like it was big enough. This dude just has a way of making these whole worlds in books that you can play with. Other writers could play in that world.
Yeah.
You know.
He's so good with characters. I mean, all the characters are so awesome. But I can't. The Russian girl, she's awesome.
Yes.
You know, Dr. Mann.
Ampersand.
355. The other, his suicide intervention was so awesome. Ampersand. Beth.
Ampersand.
The other Beth. You know, just all the characters are so. That's what makes it so good. You just learn to love the characters. Ampersand's death is what hit me the hardest, though. That's when the tears were really rolling.
Yep.
Oh.
I don't like when animals die. Like
I know. He gives him the grape, and he's like, "Fuck, why did I do that?" And then see the foam coming out of his mouth, and I was like, "What?"
I know. I'm like, no, dude. That's one of those things. Like, I have to go back and see the page again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
Rough.
One other thing I wanted to point out is the art. So Pia Guerra, you know, I can't argue for it because I don't know the history of women doing art in comics. I feel like we're having like a big moment of awesome art by women in comics, but this was from 2003.
Right.
So I think she was there a little bit earlier. Of course, you know, I don't know. Maybe there's probably other women in the industry, but I don't know if she kicked off this sort of revolution, but that art was so fitting for.
Agreed.
It's sort of like the Jessica Jones book, you know. It's that sort of every man, you know, just I don't want to say plain because that's a bad negative connotation, but it's not crazy, colorful, dynamic. It's just like very easy to read and illustrates the situations perfectly.
Yeah. Yep, I agree.
If I'm honest, I wasn't a huge fan of the art.
Really? That's funny. I thought it fit perfect too. When I first read the first few books,
I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was great.
Yeah, no, I did. I liked it. I thought it's just old school. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's different.
It's not hard to reproduce.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like technically it's not fantastic art. It's not like you sit there and do a splash page and it takes her or whatever. But I just thought connected with the story, it really melded well with the content that was being told.
Yeah.
Totally.
I guess it's hard to separate that kind of thing anyway, but they kept her also throughout the book, right?
Yes.
She's there at the end. Yeah, that's a big deal, and it's a Vertigo book.
Yep. So I feel like, what do you guys feel like with this book? Like, is it in your top 3 all time, your top 10 all time?
Well,
like,
we're gonna get to that, aren't we? Or
well, not of all time, not this year.
okay.
Like I feel like, to me, like it might be the best book I've ever read.
It's third for me.
Third.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, maybe.
I think it's third.
I can't think of other comics that made me cry.
Yeah.
Like even like, you know, stuff like The Watchmen was my favorite illustration of stuff ever. Nothing punched me in the gut. You know what I mean?
Well, believe it or not, Sandman actually Sandman was the first to get there.
Sure.
Sandman was the first for me to have an emotional, visceral reaction to.
I'm cried in Saga.
Well, yeah, and that hasn't ended yet. I can't imagine what it's gonna be.
More crying to come.
Yeah, right. But yeah,
Exactly.
Saga's my number one even
same
right
here.
now, and it's not complete yet. But yeah, I'd put it in number 3.
Nice.
What about compared to Watchmen for you, Nate?
I mean, I think it was better in the long run. Like, and it's weird. Like, even 3/4 of the way through, I wouldn't have thought that. But the way they tied up everything and got all the feels moving for me, I think.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I don't know. It's up until the last 5 issues. I probably it was like the last 3 issues when they tied everything together. Really bumped it up so high for me. So I don't know. That's why I can't put it at in my top 3 or just because. I mean, Saga, I love every issue. You know, certain books I love every issue all the way through, and it's not just because it was wrapped together so well. It's because the whole thing was fucking great every moment.
Also,
of it, you know?
yes, but also with Saga, as much as I dug Pia Guerra's art. I mean,
yeah.
Saga, what's her name? Blows it out the water. I mean, she's amazing.
I was just gonna say, with why, like, for me, I'm a sucker for those types of stories. So I can think about in the past of things that I've read that got a similar response out of me, and it's Midnight Cowboy and what's the other one? One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Like, those all have like a slow build to a moment that's so awesome. You know what I mean? And to me, like, that just gets me. I don't know why. It does.
Corey, have you started, or Nate, have y'all read Ex Machina yet?
No.
It's good, man. It doesn't have that same emotional punch, but it's Brian K. Vaughan, and it's a pretty lengthy series. Yeah, and it's awesome. Yeah, it's fantastic.
All right, let's wrap it up, fellas.
All right.
This has been Comically Gaming, episode 81. Thank you for sticking around with us. Comically, the Comic Book Club. And we're going to move on next week again to Batman number 32. So if you haven't read that, read again 25 through 32. It's really worth your time.
Do it.
All right. Thanks, fellas.
Later.